Hari When I first came to India, I went to an ashram in Bombay to study Vedanta. And then there was still, Nisargadatta was still there. So I went a few times to his satsangs. He was a totally simple man, totally not educated, hardly could read and write his own mother tongue Marathi. Then, not too loud. Not too loud. He was brought up in a little village, and then he came to Bombay, like many villagers, to make his fortune, and many ending up just in the slum because they don't know, but he was somehow, he was very capable. What he started to do, what worked, he started to roll beedies. You know what a beadie is? No, it's it's this little Indian cigarette. It's just a leaf from a tree with a few crumbs of tobacco in it. Smoking his beedies all the time, rolling his beedies, selling his beedies, and he made his life like this. He got married, had children, brought up children, and in his 30s he started to wonder what this all is about. I mean, there should be more to life than just going from day to day, struggling to have enough food, and then go to sleep again. And a friend told him about his guru, who comes once in a while to Bombay, so he went to see that guru. First, this guru gave him a mantra. Then he was very intense, like with whatever he did. He did that mantra, and very soon he started to have visions and see gods and goddesses and talk to them. And this guru said, okay, you need not do mantra anymore. I'm telling you, you are not what you think you are. You are timeless, you are spaceless, you are birthless, you are deathless. Just bring the attention back to that sense I am. Need not do anything else. And he was continuing his beady business, continuing smoking his beadies all the time, doing whatever he needed to do to bring up his children. But all his spare time he was just sitting in his corner, remembering his guru. He only saw him a few times. After 1 year his guru left his body, but he had that memory, and he was a simple man. He thought, he has no advantage in telling me a story, so it must be the truth what he says. And just had innocent faith and did all the activities. And within very short time he found himself totally transformed. And he continued in the family. He continued doing whatever needs to be done to marry his children. Well, then he started to have his satsang every day, twice. People would come to him. Eventually, his son-in-law took over his beady business. He never bothered to somehow refine his character. he kept his villager character like that. He was not like a saint sitting silently somewhere. He was sitting on a little pit on the ground and was very vital and shouting and making crude jokes. But he was totally getting established in that, living from that, in spite of all his activities. He never was an ascetic, never lived in an ashram, never went in a mountain cave. Just somehow brought his attention back to that sense I have. And let go. That did all the job.
How was it to meet him? Did you get inspired with all this character?
Oh yes, he inspired me a lot. He was a really inspiring force in my story. First time we came 3 brahmacharis from the Chinmaya mission ashram. And so we started to ask some questions, and then he was talking and asking us things, and we would blab out our learned stuff, what we have learned in the books. And he had quite a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun, but he made jokes about us. He said, you guys, you get rid of certain concepts, you just pick up new concepts. You're like a woman that is beaten up by his husband, her husband, and then she runs out in the forest, and there is somebody who is cutting off her nose and her breasts. Like he made crude jokes. But we had a lot of fun, and at the end he even amused himself to say, it's not every day that we can have this kind of elevated, this philosophical discussion. Usually the people ask all kinds of nonsense, and we walked out. Then 2 weeks later I went back, and then he did the total opposite. He cut me totally to pieces. He asked questions to me, and I said, what is the mind? What is this? And I answered as good as I could. And he asked, and you? Who are you? What are you? I said, I don't know. That's why I'm here, so I'm giving the question back. I'm asking him, who am I? And he said, you are in Chinmaya mission, Chinmaya is your guru, don't ask this question to me, you have to ask this question to your guru, don't commit spiritual adultery. And then I gave him really the clue. I was still very new in India and didn't quite know how I should behave with a Mahatma. So I said, what does it matter? Whether he says it, whether Chinmaya says it, whether anyone says it, after all, the ultimate guru is your own self. And there he got really like a tiger. You have absolutely no right to talk like this. You just learned. You want to show off everybody. Nobody knew how learned you are. Now everybody knows. Huh? I don't really remember exactly what happened, but he was really putting the finger on my buttons. And I reacted, and Pasek Ramesh, he was translating, and he was getting more and more. And Maharaj was doing like this, and I reacted, and every time my head was a bit lower than, at the end he was sitting there like a bull. Ask questions! Nothing came out anymore. But I heard after that the Spanish lady, there were a few people who were a bit longer with him. After the satsang, they would hang out a little longer with him. And he he had a lot of fun. He said, today I made a sadhu from the Chinmaya mission crazy. But, I mean, all he did, he really, it was not just a big show and stuff. All the time something was happening. After that, soon I went down to Kerala, but for 4 years I kept on every day reading a little in that book, I Am That. It was a source of inspiration for me for a long time. Last time I saw him, he was then not more sitting on the ground, he was very sick, sitting in an easy chair, and it was very quiet in the room. Previously it was very reactive and he's sitting there. And often when somebody asked a question, he just said, and Baltheke said, people have asked that question usually, he says like this. It was more quiet, and it was clear he didn't want more people coming. He also said to me, don't come back and say to the people in Chinmaya mission not to come here anymore. He wanted to spend the rest of the time for his own people. And then it was very quiet, but in a very potent way in that little room. Then suddenly, out in the silence, he said, it's a very useful state, simply to sit here without thinking. And there it was quiet again. And then after some time, he said, yes, it's a very useful state, simply to sit here without thinking. But he suddenly, I didn't ask anything. He suddenly looked at me and said, you should stop roaming about. Because I had been there in Chinmaya mission, and then I had gone to see him, and then there was Anandamai came to Bombay, went to see, and Jai Krishnamurti, and had the first time go to Kerala, and they said, stop roaming about. No.
It's very much about devotion to the Guru, no?
Yes. It just, if you roam about like this, it just creates confusion. I simply disobeyed one more time by leaving Chinmaya mission and going down to Kerala.
It seems teachers come in many different ways, no?
Yes.
In many different forms.
Right. And he never bothered to somehow appear more spiritual or more holy or more refined. He kept that villager character till the end. The person is just a role that we are playing. You're not that person. The person is just a habitual way we are conceiving ourselves. We are thinking about ourselves in a certain way. You are prior to that. And that person can basically be no matter what. You are prior to that. And then for somebody like him, being established in that, he didn't find it necessary to change his personality. So he kept it up till the end. Quite. For the one who is seeking, it makes sense to observe our personality, but just to become aware how much we are identified with. And then if we are slowly working on it, becoming aware of our attachments, learning to let them go, then naturally the personality has the tendency to change a bit. But it's more that you become more detached from it, and then maybe people around may tell you, well, you're getting a better person. But you just become more aware that you are not that person. That person is just a role in this theater of this world.